We started the business over 35 years ago. A lot has changed over the years, but one thing still remains the same.
Our passion for fixing cars. With a team of over 12 men and women, they work day in and day out to provide us the best quality service possible.
From light and heavy duty vehicle repairs and maintenance work,
diagnostics and racing transmissions,
performance parts and Jeep upgrades,
automotive detailing,
used car sales,
and towing through our sister company, AC Towing.
Our team has the knowledge and understanding to solve all your vehicle needs while putting your mind at ease.
Experience the Ogilvie difference.
It's worth the drive.
Hello and welcome back to the Bracket Life broadcast with myself, my excellent co-host Andrew Stark, as always. Well, I guess not really as always, since it's not always me that's here.
Oh, it's nice to have you back on the show here, Brando, right? So
absolutely. Nice to be back here talking with you. We haven't got to I guess we almost spent a week together touring. Yep. I guess 3 weeks ago now. Like it feels like a lifetime ago.
I was surprised how fast it's gone by, right? August has been just cruising, right? It was July, a heartbeat ago, and now we're in the middle of August. But a couple of weeks ago, we were out and hanging out in Luscville and having a great time. And another day, 24 hours, we'll be hanging out in Grand Bend.
That's right. So, we should be. I might not be there by 24 hours, but we'll be close. Close. I think 26 hours, I should be there.
I feel like we're splitting hairs at that point, but I got you. I got you.
It'll be good. I'm excited. So we got a lot going on for this show. Obviously, we missed a couple updates and whatnot from everything last week. Me being in Michigan, it was 2 weeks ago, going through that. But we have a lot of tracks that have been racing, a lot of updates, point series that are being decided now already on the West Coast that's being set up. We're going to have Drew on, who is the promoter for the 660 Sportsman Nationals coming up that we are both going to this weekend at Grand Bend Motorplex. And then closing it out, we have a special guest coming on in a special episode next week, which is also going to be, there's a lot going on. It's really exciting to be a part of the Bracket Life broadcast right now.
Absolutely. Excited to have back-to-back episodes. I got to admit, back-to-back weeks doing this too. So it's going to be fun when we talk about that later as well.
Absolutely. So before we get too heavy into it, as you saw in the commercial, brand new OGILVIE'S commercial, this week's episode is presented by OGILVIE'S Auto and Fleet Service. Always taking care of us. Mike, Vicky, my in-laws, they're, running ragged right now. Like it is craziness at the shop between, race cars, project cars, hot rods, and then the everyday vehicles that they're working on. They have a boatload of slicks there. We've been selling those transmissions flying through in and out of the door.
We got that FTI converter off you a couple of weeks back for Ian's car, my brother's car. Yeah,
absolutely. So supplier of all those FTI parts, K&R parts, not as heavy with K&R stuff being sold right now because hopefully everything's working for you racing. But a lot of stuff there for over the winter time, getting all those upgrades and stuff. So any questions, any racing parts, knowledge, whatever you need, shoot me a message, give Ogilvie's a call. Check them out. Great help. Mike's awesome. And I'm not just forced to say that.
No, he's genuinely an awesome person to talk to. I had great conversations with him out in Luscville, and when you guys were in the car show at Toronto out here, and I enjoyed a wealth of knowledge, and just a great guy to speak with. So, get a
absolutely,
chance. It's worth 5 minutes of time speaking to Mike.
Yes, sir. Absolutely. So, thank you to Ogilvie's for presenting the broadcast tonight. We will jump into it right into the Canadian countdown. I guess we have it listed off that we start talking about the Michigan trip. So we'll talk about Canadian stuff, but we'll just jump into that, right?
That's it. Hell of a trip. So World Super Pro Challenge, right? Mid-Michigan. Never been to that track. That's a great track from all the intents and purposes because everyone I've talked to said it's a great place. You guys, that was your first trip there, wasn't it?
Correct. I had never been. Heard about it a lot. Obviously, Jamie Tupper won the 50 grand race 2019, the last time we could get down there. Yeah. Jamie Tupper won it. So, there has been Canadian success there. Decided normally this event falls on the Brack-Nanza weekend. being the first weekend of August. This year it was just off because the long weekend for us was all in July. And then
Yeah, that's
the
what
month
we talked
August
about that. It
1st.
messed me up. I couldn't figure out how these two didn't line up. And it's like, yeah, it's the first weekend in August. That's how they always build the dates.
That's
And
right.
our Civic
That's
was
right.
a little weird this year.
So it worked out for us. So, I said something to Rachel about it, and she said, well, let's load her up and hit the road. So we did. We drove down there. We stopped, picked up Daniel on the way, and had a lot of fun. It's a blast. Awesome racetrack. Very similar to kind of a Grand Bend feel with the, because it's just, you're not at Norwalk, right? Like you're still in a national event facility, but you're not at Norwalk. Because obviously that's like a world class place. But like it's still local enough that it's comfortable to be a grassroots racetrack, but it's big enough that that it's an awesome facility. So I was really impressed with that. Track was good. Weather was, obviously a different animal dealing with. We had 270 cars there, so a couple hours between rounds. So you're kind of weather's up and down, and it was hot, man. Like it was real hot that whole time. But it was fun. Obviously, we got to do you did the broadcast while I was there.
Yep.
So we got to show everybody kind of a view of it. So the results did work out all right. Thursday was okay for us, getting the feel of it, Friday, obviously much better,
Just a touch better, right? Just a touch better, right? With how many rounds was that to get to the final round there?
It was 9 rounds.
9-rounder? Yeah.
Yeah. 9 rounds, and then I was still doubled with 14 left. I lost the first time I had lost an entry was with 14 cars still in. First time I had to run a door car all day, split ladder, killing me. Roll out with a door car and then just couldn't get her done. I missed the tree a touch. Came up, I think 35, and then we both broke out 3 thou.
Is this one of those rounds where the nitrous system might have been needed to?
All right, yeah. Or I really just needed to jam the brakes. Is what I needed to do. I knew that's what I'm looking. There's a 6.0 door car, and I'm getting down there. I'm like, I don't think I'm going to be there. And then you know what to do, what the right move is. It's just to actually do it. So I just made the wrong decision and didn't work out for me. But it was good. We had a great shot. I made 15 laps in eliminations. 10 of those runs I was 0-0 on the tree, and then car was awesome.
I was looking at the scorecard. You were hitting the tree hard. This is one of those days where if this doesn't pan out, it's simply just because of luck of the draw and how you pull in the lanes. And clearly it worked out, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And a great final round went down there. And then I, 009 dead on 9 and was looking like I was in heavy trouble with my opponent being 002. But he broke out 1,000, so it worked out in the good way.
Yeah, that's all right.
Yes.
That's right. So this was your first race back in the U.S. since we could cross again, right? So
yep.
I don't. So for some of our American friends listening, right? Like it's a little bit of a different take because we don't have a lot of Americans coming to Canada. There's a few, and we saw some in Luskville, right? The Martells, right?
Martells, and then Tim Quinton was there as well.
Okay, right. So it's kind of unique. Every time I've talked to someone who's gone back down for the first time, it's kind of been this nostalgic feel, right? Because it's been a couple years since many of us have been able to race down there, right? So what was it like going across, finally being able to get back into the U.S. and head into a U.S. race, right? That would have been a little different experience, exciting more than normal. How'd that feel?
Yes, definitely very exciting. Walmart, just as good as I remember it. Excellent trip. We stopped in there. We rolled to a Walmart, I want to say just outside of Flint, Michigan on the first night there. Went in the morning, got our groceries and stuff. Awesome. Like the stuff they got there, right? Ridiculous. Yeah. So
I don't know if we'll talk about that on air, but that's one of those highlight deals of hitting up the U.S. Walmart after, and particularly after a few years now, right? There's always so much more stuff that we don't have up here.
Yeah. And then just the attitude, right? The atmosphere when you're there. Racing anywhere not at home where you're not comfortable. I've talked about this with many people before about like for Luskville, for example, for how much we raced there. right? You're so comfortable and you got so many friends and we have such a good time there. You don't have that same anxiousness all day long where like you start out the time run, you're anxious. Round one, you are the whole day through. You have that, the butterflies going. So it was awesome. And
you find yourself a little more of a bubble too with it, right? Like you get your home track, you're out wandering around, whereas you get someplace unfamiliar like that, you tend to, I always found you tend to be a little more insulated because, you can still be there with friends. Like I know it was Russ Adams and Terry Marone, we're down there with you, right? But I mean, outside of that, you're in your own little world to an extent.
We're just doing our thing, right? We were just hanging out. We had the whole setup nice when we do those weekends and we're there for so many days that we get to really lay out, the awning comes out, get the nicer, lawn chairs out to sit around. And it was a really nice time and, hot, but it was very relaxing throughout the day when we could hang out. So I love it. I would love to go back down for more, but obviously.
And when we were talking about that a little bit earlier this week too, right? About just like what events through the fall here are, circle on the calendar type races. Cause there's certainly a lot of events coming up through the last part of August, September, early October in Canada. Right. And we can probably touch on that later this episode because it's a kind of impressive when you look how backloaded the season is a little bit, but there's some good weekends to hit up in the US, right? That, still left like the Fall Fling in Bristol, the Million. There's some great events coming up just in the next few weeks, right? SFG's got the Super Bowl, right? Like again, U.S. races, even Empire. There's a 10 grander on the first weekend in October, I think, is when that one is. But some notable stuff, right?
Yeah. Well, I had to bring this one up. Terry did bring up a great comment. The ice cream was awesome. So we were in, I don't know what even round it was. I can't remember. And then they had called out, there was like 10 minutes left for ice cream before the canteen closed. And so I said to Rachel, I'm like, well, let's, load that up. And we went and got one for everybody. And it worked out perfect. Me, Terry, and like Daniel and Rachel ate theirs right away. Me, Terry, and Russ ended up eating ours at 11 o'clock, 11:30, just before we went to bed. It was awesome.
When I watched the vlog, it kind of looked like you went and got the ice cream before like the semifinals or something on the Friday 10K. Like
it was. Yeah, it was like, I want to say it had to be the round of 7 because I think I only had one entry, so I wasn't in as much of a rush. And then so it was all right, with that Rachel ran up to the front.
I was watching the vlog and all I could envision was like the Days of Thunder scene. It was like, I got a pit and was like, well, we can't, we're eating ice cream, right? Like we need Brand into the lanes. We're like, I can't, man. I got ice cream. Sorry, man. Round of 7 is going to have to wait.
Well, my pit crew was eating the ice cream at that round. So Rachel and Daniel couldn't wait, which I understand.
90 plus degrees, ice cream's going down.
Oh, and it went down excellent. But so it was fun. It was a great experience. A lot of people I think that's one that if it works out needs to be on your calendar for it. Obviously for most of them, like I said, this is going to be a Bracket Bonanza weekend for us. For me, that's where I'll be, drive 3 hours from home and, have one of the biggest races in Canada going on. But for people, especially closer to you, if they're not planning on making the trip out our way, which I do encourage them to,
absolutely too,
and especially based on your experiences. But it's a great event to go to. The Ledford family that runs the track, awesome facility, really happy with it and great people. So glad that we got to go.
Absolutely. I'm glad to hear about it too. I'm glad you went. That was fun to watch. It was fun to cheer you on, as well as Russ and Terry, Daniel, right? It's great when you got some people in something because it was on our screen between the shop and the house as I was meandering back and forth doing whatever it was I was doing all weekend. But great job. We're proud to see you guys go around. I was proud to see you do well. So
thank you, sir. I should have brought the check up. I should have had the check sitting in the background ready for this.
Next time, right?
That's right.
In a week, if we get this figured out in the next 6 days, then we've got an episode coming up in 7 to do this in, right?
That's right. That's right. You had some racing as well, right? So you just got back from a race weekend. How was that?
Yes, we went to RCSS at Cayuga this past weekend. They had, I think it was their points race number. It was 5 and 6, I believe, on their season. They got 7 and 8 coming up, 9 and 10s in the fall in October, like a late October. Back to a lot of racing in the fall this year. I went down kind of as a tune-up for this weekend. Needed to get myself sorted out on the bottom bulb, to be quite honest with you. We got a lot of top bulb racing in the last 2 weeks, but the bottom bulb's been on the back burner. So the race results from Saturday, we've got junior dragster Amelia Costello just down the road from me. Actually, I was had some CO2 for the Costellos. They ran out on one of the days there, so helping them out with their big car. She picks up the win in junior dragster over Marshall Klein. Junior Consi, Leah Gingrich picked up a win over Jacob Firstall. Modified. Mark Minicanen. I think I've mentioned Mark on here before. He's kind of one of those guys that is just, he's like the local legend in bottom bulb. He's one of those guys just putting up wins all the time. Every year he's a threat. Saturday, he picked up another win over Superstock racer Dave Druitt. Great final round, too. We were doing all 8th mile racing this past weekend, which was, again, a great setup going into the 660 race. Coming up, Casey Kovacs, recent 15K winner at Pittsburgh, took his momentum for a quick sportsman win over Matt Costable. Matt had a great Saturday, managed to kick me out of Super Pro, I think, in round 3. He went on to runner-up both in quick sportsman and Super Pro. Bob Richards, another guy that we've talked a lot about on the show here, who's done well at Cayuga, was the winner in Super Pro. RCSS bike and sled, Kyle Van Beek over Dan Earl, Frank Allingham over Craig Mark in the bike sled Consi, Steve Dutton, Doug Townsley in foot brake. Steve picking up the win in his car, 68 Dodge Dart. Car's been around forever. I think we're talking about it, and that car has been running in some form since the early 70s as a race car, right? And winning, right? So kind of neat to see it still out there rolling. And street eliminator Frank Hood over Tyler Side. And that was our Saturday. Sunday, we pick up everything. Maya James. Maya was one of the unique racers. She runs junior dragster, and she wheels her dad's, I think it's like an 89 Mustang Mod ET car. Double entered, running both. She ended up running actually Bob Richards on Saturday, and she was 002, getting down there, couldn't get there, got behind by 7th thou, forced Bob to break out, taking the 7th thou by a couple thou. Like, just one of those races where when I went back and talking to Bob, he goes, I just got slapped from start to finish, and she executed perfectly. So in junior, she went out and picked up the win on Sunday over Jack Snell. Junior Consi, Ryan Pettit over Amelia Costello. RCSS mod, Mark Minicanen pulls the double up. He took me out in round 3 on a great race, wins both days. I'm pretty sure he's leading the points in RCSS, putting up great runs over Scott Mackey. Mike Leje picked up the win over Kenny Grossi. Kind of another one of those things where we've talked about this a lot in a lot of episodes. When guys get on rolls, all of a sudden you see them in double finals where there's double up appearances. So Kenny ended up going to the final in quick sportsman, lost to Mike. Went to the final in Super Pro, and Blake Sutton, who again we've talked about quite a bit on the show, battle of the dragsters in the final. Blake ended up beating Kenny, but he has ended up being both finals. Kenny's had a hell of a run recently because he's won top dragster. He's went to a final round, I think, of the Nitro Nationals, a couple runner-ups here. So I think he's coming to Grand Bend to run top dragster. He's real excited. I'm trying to convince him to get into the Thursday and Friday because evidently he's on a roll. So why wouldn't you, right? For a small amount of money. Mike Konopacki over Frank Allingham in bike sled. The Consi bike sled, Murray Lonsbury over Dan Earl. RCSS foot brake, Sam Snap in the street-driven 2013 Chevy Impala taking the win over Chuck Winger. Gary Rankin over Brad Frazier in street ET. And that was our weekend in Cayuga. The fun time had by all.
Absolutely. It's a good event. Right? Nice to go out there. Get a little warm-up action in. Get ready to go.
Yeah, it was great. I mean, it was like there was a few people coming up to Grand Bend who were down there kind of doing the same thing, just getting some bearings because there's so much quarter-mile racing out here that when you switch up to the 8th, right? Like, you got to tighten everything up.
Right? Yeah.
So
you gotta
absolutely.
Be, you're looking earlier, you got to make all that stuff. So
That's it. Your decision making has got to be sped up a bunch. Your margins, like if you're used to seeing 20, right? At the quarter mile, right? What 20 looks like for stripe, or 10, is half or less, right? So it really takes an adjustment to get to that point. So good warm up. Like I'm, happy with what I was able to do. I mean, I got down to 4 cars in Super Pro on Sunday going off the bottom. I went a little old school, left the Corvette in the trailer, took the delay box out of the Mustang, hid it somewhere in the trailer so I couldn't break down and put it back in the car, and just went off the bottom in mod and Super. And I'll be honest with you, I felt good about it. Like getting down to 4 cars. I was the last door car in Super Pro, 3 dragsters and me. I let go poor in the 4th round to go, drop it to dead zero, but still be in the way of Kenny's, charge to the final round, right? But I'm looking forward to it. I'm excited to get to Grand Bend and, get into the no box mix for all the big money races. But great weekend. Track work great, and looking forward to the next RCSS event when we can make it, probably in the fall. I think October will be the next one for us. So yeah. So let's kick it back. You were in Luskville the same time I was in Cayuga, and you were finishing up one of the 5K races, I think, from drag week. And then there was I think a Wally on the line on the Saturday too, right?
I don't know if there's a Wally for Saturday, just for Sunday.
Probably
But
the
Saturday
Sunday,
we did run Saturday we were 2,500 to win, and then had the $5,000 we made up from the little bracket, the Dave Rennie weekend. So we did that. Saturday's winner, Super Pro, Mike Shenny, has been on a roll. And he has been breaking everything. Everything.
What happened this time? So he had the dragster was down at the bracket bonanza.
So the dragster grenaded the transmission at the bracket bonanza. Got that fixed at OGILVIE'S. Just throwing it out there. New case, everything, complete unit set up. Went down, worked fine. Saturday, destroys the rear end in the dragster in the time hit. And I didn't go down and see it. I was talking to Mike about it. Mike says it's done. Got pretty bad. So with our they just abuse everything. So broke that. Instead, normally he drives the Corvette and the dragster, so just doubles the Corvette. Goes down, takes the win over Dave Rennie. As Arnie pointed out, I believe that's the first all door car final at Luskville since they started doing the split ladders 4 or 5 years ago. Whether it is the first one or not, it sounded really good, right?
Absolutely. It's the first one in recent memory, at the very least, if that's the case. But nonetheless, really cool.
So Shenny gets a win over Dave Rennie. Dave Rennie took me out with 4 cars left. I was out entered and then had one. So took me out. Ended up losing.
Does that mean
the Mike
did Dave race his entry out of the dragster side then? The door, because he's a door car.
Yeah.
So he won out. So that's how the door car final happened.
Yeah, I think he was doubled. So yes, and then he went right through on the dragster side. That thing works awesome. That Vega he's got going, whatever it is, 530s. Awesome. Yeah, works great. Semi-pro, Larry Lepin Jr. on the bike over Stefan Pichette. Larry Lepin, we've talked about him a lot, and if we haven't, then we need to talk about him more. He's been killing it. So Larry and Mike Chenier had a King of the Track. It might have been Wally then. Yeah, I think it was called. They did run the Chenier, Larry, King of the Track. Chenier gets the better of Larry, not because Larry wasn't trying. Larry on the bike comes up 7 on the tree. I think Mike missed it a touch. I think he was 41 in that final. Ooh. Tough on a 2-wheeled bike, getting chased by a fast door car to be looking around, seeing what's going on, and drive door car. Yeah. So hard to judge that. But race. So great for Larry taking the win. Junior was Shelby Sagan over Maverick Angers. Quick note. I know the countdown's taking a while to get through. Yeah. But quick note, have to bring it up. The Sagan family helping out everybody. Great people. Jason, so Katie Adams, Russ Adams' daughter, Run Jr., her engine's in rough shape, had to get sent down to Blossom, get some work done. The Sagan family have loaned their spare junior engine to Katie. Jason put it in, did all the stuff, took care of her all weekend, made sure it was working right. So awesome people, awesome sportsmanship. good for them letting Katie get out there and get to race for that week, because it's fun, right? And it's tough enough running juniors as it is, and then especially if your stuff's not working or if it's broke and out of your control. So awesome for them to help out.
I saw that online, and I thought that was a huge move, and just like top shelf type deal, right? Not only put it in and then like dial it, tune it, like
take care of it. Yeah, make sure everything's working right. So that was awesome. So we'll roll to Sunday. Juniors, as we just talked about, Maverick Angers was the runner-up Saturday. He got the win on Sunday. I believe he's won a lot. I think they said that might have been his first win at Luskville over Leah Monahan. Leah also on a roll in junior. Semi-pro was Boomer Dubois over Russ Frazier. And Sunday, Super Pro was Darren Frazzo over Ashley Ogilvie. Ashley, my sister-in-law, just my younger sister at this point in time. So good for Ashley and Darren getting to the final there. Great day. Darren was lights out. Darren, with 8 cars left, was 8 dead on 4. Comes back around with 4 cars left to be 7 dead on 5. I did ask how many more combinations of 12 total he was going to put up. He was not 12 total, but he got it done. So
he wasn't 6 dead 6 for the win, right?
No. I had actually thrown out like a 15 3,000 under. I threw that combination out to see maybe that would work, but that didn't work either. Yeah. But so we'll transition over to the SmackDown at TMP for this event.
Yeah,
one of the Edenville events.
So I hinted at this. So I didn't have the results the last episode, which was fairly recent at that time. So we're about half a month out, but I really wanted to make sure. It's a big race that goes on at Cayuga. Ian Hill Race Productions puts it on. It's kind of a single day event for the streetcar side, whereas the sportsman side is 2 days. So they run index classes. They had stock, super stock. So I wanted to make sure that all the racers there got in on this. So the 550 index, Randy Hodges over Brandon Smurft. I believe I got that wrong. Sorry, Brandon. 6-0 index, Mike Thompson over Alex Cornia. 650, Bob Richards, who we've mentioned a lot on here. He's out there having fun and just racing the wheels off this new Camaro he's got. Takes the win over Jay Lightheart. Jay unfortunately broke out. So Bob wheels the car back around for the 7-0 index. So he's got a car that runs 640, 650s. And I had to ask someone, I'm like, how did he win 650 and 7-0? And evidently he would just go out and around the 660 mark, just lift, coast down, and then just wheel race to the finish line. So by doing that, takes the win over local legend Glenn Tovey, who's been south. He was actually down in Alabama running some of this 7-0 index down there. So, I mean, he's like dialed in. So real big final round there. Bob picks up the double win. 750 index was Doug Reed taking the win. Crazy 8 Bikes, which I believe is like an 888 index. Laszlo Regali over Ryan Fogan. Low 9s, Darren Johnston over Corey Lee Stavely. Stock Super Stocks, $8,000 purse. I think it was like $5,000 to win. Chuck Nagy over my buddy Glenn Baker in the final on Saturday. Sunday, Brian Clayton over Dan Velanowski. Junior Dragster saw Franklin McPherson over Cammie Scott. And the Consi win was Ben Colavecchia. Sunday, Cole Ferry. Cole's been killing stuff out here. He's winning lots of junior stuff in the Canada Heads Up Series. He's going rounds all the time in the RCSS. He picks up the win over Lindsey Caldwell, and Brody Colavecchia taking the win in the consolation race on Sunday. So congratulations, all the winners from the SmackDown. I apologize, it took an extra couple weeks to get everyone out there, but we finally got them in there. So congrats to all the winners.
Absolutely. Good for them. SmackDown events always look great, right? Ian's got a great setup going for all those events. I've talked to Ian about promoting and all that stuff before, so I'd love to try one of the events. There's not a whole lot for dragsters at those, but
he's coming on with the bracket side of things, right? Like you have a super stalker, you're always going to have a home there, right?
Yeah. But they have theirs, right? They need that. Don't make it if you make it a bracket race, right? Then you're just trying to appease to everybody. Where if you can really focus on your core people that need to be there. So
and I mean the heads up side of stuff's really neat too. Like I didn't have the results on those ones, but I mean, like there's small tire and big tire classes, like kind of generic old school streetcar stuff. It's there is some neat stuff goes on at that race, and he puts up some big money on it. So
And
it's fun. We've been to a couple.
everybody needs a place to go, right? Not everybody can do the same events, right? Not everybody can just have bracket racing every time. So
Yeah, no.
good
And
for
the
them.
index stuff I really like. Like I really hope that starts to take off. Like I mean, I've made no bones about it. I love index racing. I don't care if it's throttle stop or non-throttle stop. Makes no difference to me. Pro True with an index. And I think in the N series, it's really starting to grow. They're starting to get some good car counts. There's a 5.0 and a 550 in his Canada Heads Up series that are getting good numbers, and they're racing for some decent money, and it's getting real competitive. So I'm happy to see it. I hope it continues to grow. So
Absolutely. So we'll transition a little more towards the East Coast, and then we'll head out west. Miramichi Dragway had an event. Weather forecast easy. Didn't look great for Sunday. They ran both races on the Saturday. Stock Super Stock winner of race 1 was Bruce Riley over Kelly McKay. Race number 2, Bruce Riley gets the win again, this time over John Armstrong. Box class was Jason McNeil, who is our Pro 1 dealer. Whenever we talk about Pro 1, congratulations, Jason. Over Justin Cummings, race 2. Justin Cummings comes back, gets a little revenge, takes the win, this time over Brett Ramsey. No box now, race 1. Chad Ramsey, which was Brett's dad, takes the win there over William Newcomb. Number 2, Chad Ramsey with the double up over Mike Ingram. Not Mark Ingram. We're not paying attention to football right now. And junior dragster was Kian Joyce over Yakim Laveau. Missing that one. Normally Jason's, whenever he sends me these, he gets me a good pronunciation. We missed
2 weeks ago, I noticed that, and I tell you, it was worth its weight in gold. I appreciate it.
And then race 2, Jax Goodwin over Alex Kelly. So great racing out there. They have a lot going on. That's they have to be closing up their series here soon. We'll look that up. We'll remember that. We'll keep checking it, do a points update. If not the next show, then in 2 weeks.
Absolutely.
We'll do that. So great for them. Great for all the Down East stuff. Not like I said, we'll head out west. We'll do the top eliminator stuff. That series is now done. We have a champion. So first for the winners of the races, Saturday, Gordy Castle over Scott Hearn. Sunday, James Bast over Mike Perrin. So give me 2 seconds so I make sure I get this right, because this was down to the wire.
You were talking about the show there. It's real close. Right?
Yes. So I talked to a couple guys, made sure I got it. Ryan O'Connor, ROC, we've had on here before. Make sure you gave me the lowdown, so I had all the information correct. So Saturday night, after race 1, there's one race left coming up on the Sunday. Jason Pad in first place with 446. Joe Graves in second place with 445 points, so 1 point behind. Darren O'Connor, 442, 4 points behind the lead. Ashley Huffman, she's about 15 points back. We finish up after this. Sunday's final gets done. Championship comes up. Not sure the numbers. Joe Graves comes out on top, over top of Jason Pad. Ashley Huffman sneaks into the third place position. It's good for them. Great racing. Nice tight points chase. That's fun. I'm trying to look through still more. We tried to get more, obviously there's been a lot of racing going on, right? I've spent more time in my motorhome than I have in my house the last little bit. So we don't have a whole lot of great information on it, but awesome to see. Awesome to see great racing and a tight points chase. Good for those guys. They said now it's way cooler now because I know these people and these names. So it's really exciting to watch.
Becoming more familiar too, and it's kind of neat. I didn't make the trip out west like you did, but now that we're getting some more familiarity, being able to talk about them, right? It's I've seen some of the same things you've seen with the points chases online, and it's kind of fun to be able to see some of these folks, understand who they are, and follow some of this. Right? There's, as we've said numerous times, there's lots of great points racing across Canada, and lots of great racing to follow. Right?
Absolutely.
If you're a fan at all, right?
Yeah, so it's fun, and like I said, so I'm just whipping through some more. I still have out west. So now for the Tnt Motorsports Series. So Travis Ringeth. Travis was supposed to be on. Didn't work out. He's in the bush somewhere. For work. He said he has no service.
That's not like a West joke about
Not a
the
West joke.
destination.
No,
No, okay.
no. I think he's just somewhere
He's
that there's not great service for it. He gave a quick update on the shootout series that he has for the 10 grand shootouts or 10K to win shootout point series. Top bulb is Chevy Reeves and Mike Cozier duking it out hot. They're tight. Chevy's been lights out in there.
Yeah.
I'm trying to whip it up here quick. Chevy has been he's been killer the whole time.
every event I've seen from out there, like out west at a series that they're following. If he's not in the final with a win, he's in the late rounds. It looks like, right?
That's right. I had the point series up here. It just, of course, it moved. I will find it before it gets to the end. And then Monty Beagle and Craig Johnson. Craig, we've had on here to talk about before. So Craig and Monty are rolling through at the end. That is tight. Monty B, we haven't talked to him. It would be great to have him on. He does a lot of stuff, like a lot of big money races, and I've seen him all over the place.
Yep.
So those boys are lighting it up out there.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I want to say it's potential that Money Beagle has won both of the shootout races in no box. And then Chevy has won one race, and Mike Cozier has won the first one. It's tight. I'm excited to see. I wish Travis could have been on, and we could have went more hardcore in this.
Absolutely. We'll try to get him
Talk
for
it up. For another one, we will him on. He has an event coming up soon, which will be the Medicine Hat, the original race that he has done. We'll talk about that a little bit later on for when it's coming.
2 weeks is when it's coming up.
Yes.
So by the time we do another episode here, we'll get him on, probably do a wrap up on it too. That'd be great to get a take on the point series and get to talk about the last two races in specifics, right? So
that's right. August 26th, 28th, Western Canadian Summer Classic. His, the original TNT race. So great to have him on. Yeah, that's right. That's right. I was invited to that race or told that that's the one that I should go to next. It won't work out for me this year, but I'd love to go to the Hat.
Absolutely.
And check it out. So
it's a neat looking track too. I've seen a lot of video and pictures of it recently because I've been following it online, just looking at results and stuff. And it's a neat looking facility too, right? And it's like it's association owned, right? Like there's no one specific owner to that, so it's kind of a neat setup from a like racing business side point, right? It's an interesting configuration to be able to run versus just having like a singular owner for profit operation, right?
Absolutely. So it's cool with all those, and that's there's a few places around that area that operate in that fashion.
Yep.
So it's something different, but definitely cool to check out. So now we'll whip through. We'll go. I don't want to say it's like the main attraction, but I think it's a pretty big one to have Drew on to talk about the Sportsman Nationals coming up this weekend at Grand Bend. So we'll bring Drew.
What are you doing there?
There we go.
Hi, guys.
G'day, sir. We'll move you right to the middle because that's where,
All right.
talk to you.
Stuck in the middle.
That's right. So, Drew, how's it going tonight? How you making out?
Awesome. Thanks for having me on, guys.
Absolutely. Glad to have you on again to talk about the event.
Perfect.
We talked to Vicky a little bit before. So how are you feeling? Excited?
Really
Nervous?
good. Oh,
pumped
yeah.
up?
Lots to do. We got one day left. We're leaving tomorrow about 11 or 12 to the track, and I think we're all set to go.
Perfect. Yeah. I like
bet.
it. So if anybody is watching live, throw in the comments. Let us know if you're going, when you're leaving. Brock Godmeyer, the Flying Frog, already put it out there. They're ready to leave tomorrow.
I was actually talking to Brock on messages there that he's contemplating putting a bottom bulb button in the car to come out to the race. He is almost all in on everything that he can get into based on the conversation I had. So
There we go.
that's it.
Perfect.
They're always all in. So
Where's he from?
North
Bay.
area.
North Bay. Okay.
Around that. Brock will comment on here, I'm sure, and let us know for sure. I know he's from the north.
Yeah.
He's not close, to me at least.
All right. Perfect.
Yes. There we go. Snakebite is in for it as well in the comments. So
He might beat Drew there, based on the conversation I had with Bob tonight. So
Good for him.
He's heading out early in the morning. Somewhere around
Okay.
6 a.m. tomorrow when I should be waking up, I'll probably hear a trailer rolling out of my compound, which will be Bob on the way to the Grand Bend.
Oh, is that right?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, he's excited.
Here,
As we
Bob.
all are, to be honest with you. I can't wait to leave tomorrow night, too. I got one more day in the shop to do, and then we got to roll, and I'm not looking forward to the 8 hours I got to put in tomorrow. Not that I'm not looking forward to serving everyone at DSE Automotive, but still, racing's exciting.
There we go.
That's right.
You're starting
Well,
early.
I hope you guys got Snake Bite hooked up with some fresh trailer tires. I'll tell you that.
One new rim, 2 new tires, and
Good for him.
everything's ready to roll.
So we got a lot coming on, a lot in here. Brock is from Kirkland Lake. That's where it is. 8 hours to Grand
Okay.
Bend. He will
Yep.
be there. Got some questions. The Belfoys will be rolling through. Butch Douglas trying to get the streetcar set up to run Sewer Pro. Got our first question in the comments, which this is exactly why we want to have Drew on.
Okay.
All the questions, whatever that you need to get out, want to get out, throw them out there. So Mike Hickey, Dozer, what time do the gates close tomorrow night? Drew?
3 till 10. If anybody's rolling in later, I'm sure we can accommodate to get them in
Okay.
somehow. My number is on the flyer and on the
Yep.
Facebook. Send me a message if you're going to be late. I'm sure we can figure something out to get you inside.
Perfect. And then same thing,
All right.
right. Paying attention, shoot me a message, shoot Brack Life a message, or Andrew. And then, if you don't have Drew's contact right offhand, I have his number. We talk, however frequent, so we can, and we'll be around
Yeah.
everybody. So,
I'm sure we can get everybody in, even if it's later.
Yeah.
Yep.
So that'll be good. So
We're filling up on the high roller, the 20K. I feel like that's worth talking about because we've got you've been running raffles for a couple weeks now. We've got what are we up to now for entries?
We're
12?
at 13 people.
13. So we're three
13,
spots
three.
away.
Yeah. So Vic was going to start another one today. We had a couple people to message.
Yep.
But it's fairly time consuming, and we had a bunch of other stuff we kind of had to deal with before that. So when we get to the track tomorrow, she's probably going to start another one.
Yep.
And we'll just draw it there. Hopefully it fills up Wednesday night. Maybe draw one Wednesday, maybe draw one Thursday. And 3 spots.
But for those that don't know, what you're raffling off is it's a $2,000 entry into the $20,000 to win 16 car race is what we're talking about, right?
Right. Yep.
Yeah, that's $5,000 to runner up, 2 to the semis. Russ made a good point here. I just see in the comments about doing some more raffles maybe at the track as well. But that's a highlight race for the Friday night, right? 20,000, 16 car field, right? Turn on 2 win lights, you're in the money. So this can be a fun race on the Friday night.
Right. 2 win lights, you got your 2,000 back, 5 runner up, and 20K to win.
Yep.
And yes, we will be doing more raffles at the track.
beautiful.
So at this point, if you want in on this, you better buy a spot because there's not going to be many spots left to raffle off to take a chance on.
Yeah. Yeah, you bet, eh?
Yeah.
We got the check here. Grab the check, Mom.
There we go. See, this is a man that's prepared that has the check there. I should have had mine. Look at that. That's all right.
Over.
Here, we can make it a little bigger. Just give me a sec, Drew. Oh, hold on. Where'd we go? Drew, right there. I didn't want me to be big. There we go.
There it is.
Look at that. That looks fantastic.
Whose name's going on that?
That's right.
I can think of a few I'd like to see, one specifically, but
Yeah. No, that's looking good. The big bracket life on there too, right?
Yeah,
bracket
for sure.
high roll. Oh, mixing it around. All the
something
camera.
that I feel like
there's so many. Carry on. You're good.
No, I was going to say something I feel like we should touch on here because I know I've been beating the drum. If anyone follows me on Facebook there and social media, I've been talking about box and no box, the shootouts. There's quite a few other classes going on there that maybe you want to touch on there, Drew, like the juniors. There's stock, super stock, 650, bike sled, top sportsman, top dragster. I know there's been some conversation on some of the quick stuff, but I don't want to let anyone be left out because I feel like I always fixate on the stuff I'm running, but there's a lot of other stuff going on there too.
Yep. So the only thing that has changed here is top sportsman. We've canceled that. I don't think we really had anybody coming out. They've had 2 or 3 weekends in a row, and then again next weekend for their point systems. I can't remember what PSDS.
PSDS.
So we really have nobody committed from Top Sportsman. So that one's not gonna roll. Top Dragster is still gonna roll. 16 car field, 500 enter, 4,000 to win, 1,000 runner up, 500 semis. Stock, super stock both days, Saturday and Sunday. And the 650 index, $100 entry, 1,500 to win, and 500 runner up. There's usually a couple guys, Bill Little and James Little and Chad Grew both hopped in that out of super stock into the 650. So it's kind of a fun class. No delay boxes. You're a 500 pro tree. Yeah.
Old school index race. Find a bolt and put it on the throttle,
yeah,
right?
Yeah, you bet. Yeah. And the bikes and sleds have their own, and they're also welcome to come in box and no box.
Yeah. The junior one's neat. So I want to talk about the junior one there because I got the flyer in front of me here too, and it's free entry. Am I reading that one part right for Saturday, Sunday?
Right. So Saturday and Sunday are free entry, sponsored by Western Overhead Door and DSC, and $500 purse each day, split up between winner, runner up, semis, and a $250 consi purse each day, Saturday, Sunday. Friday, there is a gambler junior race, $100 entry and 75% payout. And then the 16 car junior shootout will be Friday at 4 p.m. We have one full field for that. I think we have 7 or 8 on a second list. And if it fills, we're going to run 2 of them. Nice. I'm pretty sure there's going to be enough juniors to run 2 of those 16 car shootouts. And if we get to 15 or something, we're still going to run it.
Yeah, just prorate it down or something like that. So that's a good deal, right?
Yeah.
That's a lot. If you got a junior in tow or got a junior out there, there's lots of racing this weekend coming up for you to come out to this event, right? And the free Saturday, Sunday. How do you go wrong with that?
Right. Yep. You bet.
I agree. We didn't have free entries when I was racing junior. Not for doing that stuff. It looks awesome. I have the flyer up as well. We'll post the flyer in the comments on this for everybody who wants to check it out. Doesn't necessarily have it offhand and see it, but the shootouts are gonna be good. We counted it. I think for a box car and no box car, I want to say there's 7 possible races you can be in. Single entered, 7 different races over the weekend. So, we've talked about it how many times about for being bang for your buck for your fuel, right? Yep. Prices are high. Roll in there and then race as much as you can, right? So that's going to be an awesome one. And then 6 races it should be for the no box cars. They can jump in the high roller, right? There's nothing that says
sure.
There's Joe Moreau and Willie Western. They're no box, right?
Yeah, Joe Moreau and Willie Western, no box in the high roller.
Yeah, I like it.
Yeah, that's going to be fun to watch them taking on everyone else as well on this. Yeah, so like the high roller is not exclusive to anything else. So yeah, there's a ton of racing to do here. I mean, even if you just bought into the main events, forget the shootouts, right? Yeah, you've got more than enough racing for each day there at a great price for everything. I mean, where else are you going to run for twin 25s and twin 75s in box and twin 25s and twin 5-granders in no box, right? On top of it with great entry fees.
Yeah, 500 gets you basically Thursday to Sunday in no box, and 600 gets you Thursday to Sunday in box.
Absolutely. Yeah. And buybacks, not terrible, right? $50 for the Thursday, Friday, and then $100 Saturday, Sunday for the box, and then no box, 50, 75, 75. So a great race. A lot
run
of
as a buyback, right? Not as a re-entry. Like you're buying back into round 2. If I understood that,
everybody's coming up for round 2.
Yeah.
Simple, straightforward.
Anybody double entered in box or no box will be calling double entries 2 lanes first, and dragsters will be separate for 3 rounds. We'll see how many are there for Thursday and Friday, but definitely Saturday, Sunday they'll be separate for the first 3. And the no box, the 2 shootouts, the box shootout, we have 2 full fields. We've had a couple of people drop out, so I think there's still a couple spots left in the second box race. If anybody wants in on that, send us a message. And the no box, we might be at about 31. Okay, we're at 32 right now. It's full right now. Yeah, but you never know. There might be a little movement there. So if anybody does want on that alternate to get in.
Yeah. Absolutely.
I'm
I'm just looking through. I'm looking through them, and it's going to be great. I'm really excited for those shootout ones.
Have you looked at the two lists for the shootouts? Like, actually looked at the list?
Yeah, absolutely. I have it up right now.
So I was looking down that list, and I don't know if we can pull it up for people here. It doesn't matter. Go to the 660 Sportsman page. You'll be able to see it. I want neither part of either one of those. Like, there's no one race that's easier to, like, when you look at the first bracket versus the second bracket with 10K, it's literally just a row of people I do not want in round one. Right. And I think I'm wondering about that as I signed up, because it was a first come, first serve, right? Sort of thing, right, on the list. And I'm looking down and I'm wondering if one race is easier than the other, right? Just don't know why my brain went there, right? But like, did I sign up too early? Did I maybe should have waited? And then I looked at the second 32 car list for box and went, I don't want any part of that either. That's, it's a crazy amount of talent heading out to Grand Bend in the next 24 to 48 hours. And I'm excited. I mean, I'm hoping I don't disappoint, and myself and go out early, but like, there's gonna be some great racing to watch, front to back on this.
You bet. It's going to be great.
For the Super Tour representation, I feel is going to be, larger than it was last year. It was big last year, but there is a great group of guys. I want to say we got to be close to 25, almost 30 entries.
Yeah,
that'll be just from the Super Tour or anything kind of east of.
No, we kind of lost you there a little bit, Brando.
Oh, still cutting out a little bit.
Just a touch, but
we're still there.
Something to mention too. Yep, I still got you there. So Chuck Fram, Shannonville. I meant to mention this one in the last episode, but again, being over my head, trying to host it by myself, which took me a hot minute to try to get over. What Chuck put out, a $250 bonus for any Shannonville points racer to win at the 660s. I think I got that right. I have to see if I can find it here.
Yeah,
I believe so.
Yeah,
you are correct.
I mean, there's the funny part is, like, there's some the lines being drawn here, right? Like last year, I always remember the discussion was, who's going to go out there and crack them. Like, the East is coming to beat up on the West, right? Shannonville's, on the road. I remember back when we did my 5K race at Grand Bend in 2016. Like, I'm constantly reminded about how Shannonville came and just swept up everything, took all the money, and went back on the 401 and went east again, right? And I kind of feel like now it's slowly starting. It's not been this divider line, but the conversations have started. Chuck definitely threw the gauntlet down with a bonus for any Shannonville points racer from 2022 to pick up a win. When we were in Luskville, there was lots of conversation about the East is coming, right? And if I remember the results last year, I'm pretty sure it was all divided up pretty equally. East, West,
I think it was
Central.
Yeah. Three for East and then 3 wins for West Coast racers, at least in the box classes.
Yes. So I feel like that's slowly ramping up. I feel like that's going to be a storyline as the weekend goes on, and checks are handed out and wins are had over I don't want to discount the North, our friends up in the North, right? Like Brock, and I know the counts kind of as a Super Tour racer because he runs everything on the Super Tour, but I even heard the Northern guys, like North Bay, Elliott Lake racers, like up that way, talking about, like, we get discounted for a lot of things. And I know there's a few of them coming down, right? So I think this is going to be one of those type weekends of who does what. And there's going to be tallies on boards and trailers, right? Quietly.
So Drew, we'll hit a couple questions, extra ones before we let you roll. And then we kind of wrap up the rest of the show. So Bob's got a great one here. So will there be ladders? I believe he's just talking about the shootout races. if there'll be ladders for
The-
that or how that'll go.
The 16 car, the high roller, will be laddered for first round. The 32 car shootouts will be laddered after first round. So first round, you roll up into what lane you want. And whoever you're beside, that's who you're running. Then it'll be front to back. And then you'll be laddered after that. The junior dragsters will be laddered on first round for 16 cars. All the box and no box racing is laddered at 8.
Perfect.
Yep. The main event stuff is what we're talking about.
Right.
Like,
Yeah.
Yep.
So then, and then kind of one last one, unless anybody else wants to throw it in a comment there. Weather forecast, as much as we all know, you cannot trust the weatherman. Who knows what they're right, wrong, whatever. It doesn't really matter. But when they post up a scary forecast, then we all get a little tense, right? So it looks much better today. Sunday doesn't look great right now. Then again, it is Tuesday. So who
It's
knows?
also Grand Bend.
It is Grand Bend. It's Tuesday. Who knows what it can be?
Yeah.
For an idea of a plan, we talked a little bit about it. But for everybody out there, kind of what's the idea, or what are we looking at? If Sunday,
So what we're going to do, Thursday, Friday, Saturday look great right now. Sunday's about 60%, I think. But that's going to change to 0.
yeah, I like it. I like
And
it.
so anyway, we're going to continue on with the 25-25. In box, we'll have the 5 and the 5. If rain is coming for the Sunday, we'll make a decision Saturday. We're either going to leave it just a $5,000, or we're going to double the payout and double everything all the way down and hand in 2 tech cards, or it'll just be a $5,000 and you'll get your money back for your Sunday tech card. And that goes the same with the main event for box.
Yeah. So
We'll run the 75, or we'll double it, or and if it's just a single 75, you'll get a refund back on Sunday.
Yeah. So that's all taken care of, right? So then, bad Sunday, either you get your tech card back, or if you paid for Saturday, Sunday, we race for 50.
Yeah.
Right. Great deal. I like it. I'll throw it out that I want to race for 15 because I want to get race for, right. We get to race for a couple of 10s. We get to race for 20. We might as well race for 15 as well. Right.
Yeah.
Whip it all around. So, but we'll see what happens. Like you said, I believe you when you say that the forecast is going to go to 0. I believe you.
There we go.
Yeah,
Perfect.
Absolutely. Whipping through here. Brock had a quick question before we go, or before we let you go. Thursday, Friday. Yeah, so that'll be at 8 cars that the ladder will be down for the box and no box for the main event races.
Right. So main events, they're all laddered at 8 and re-laddered every round. You're not going to follow a ladder through. You're going to get re-laddered at 4, re-laddered at 2. So you're competing for a bye every round. So
and then that's
7-4-2, or if it's 5-3-2, you're still competing for a bye. You don't fall into one.
That's all set on reaction time. Those
Right.
ladders are set for that. Okay.
Yeah. Reaction
Perfect.
time, and once we're on a ladder, reaction time gets lane choice as well.
Perfect. Simple.
Good.
And I like it. Well, thank you very much, Drew, for taking the time to come on here. Great to
Thank you for having me.
you. Great to have you on, and then be able to promote this race. I know it's going to be huge. I'm ready for it. Everybody I talk to is coming. Sounds like an awesome event. So I'll see you tomorrow.
You bet. Perfect.
All
See you
right,
tomorrow,
sir.
guys.
Thank you
for
very
having
much.
me.
All right, have a good one, bud.
You bet.
Oh, that's a lot. We got a lot going on.
You know what? The more I talk about this race, the more I realize how many events there is. Like, there's a ton of racing over a 4-day stretch, and I'm really excited about it. Like,
I can't wait. I cannot wait. I'm wound right up for it. As exhausting as everything has been the last month, racing for 4 days at Luskville, racing for 4 days at Michigan. Now we're going to race for 4 days in Grand Bend. It's a lot, but it's good.
well, it's going to be a great time. I'm excited. I'm excited to see so many folks come from far out coming, like having talked to different folks and getting messages about it. I mean, I've been getting messages all day, about stuff coming. Actually, a great question that came through. Just I seen it on the Mike Hickey. Curfew is midnight, so there's a large runway there at Grand Bend, and they've got all the. If you've never been, like, top-notch track equipment, they keep that place stuck right through the evening. I've raced there up till midnight and holding, I think is the term they used once when we were running there, and the track was phenomenal. So yeah, I don't think we're gonna need to get there. Last year they had the race wrapped up at like 8, 9 o'clock, I think, with all the shootouts on the Saturday. The Friday was a little sooner than that. So Drew and Vicky do a great job making sure cars go down tracks, making sure stuff's stacked in the lanes. Last year, in fact, I had my first moment of getting to the lanes, and I was so used to going to Grand Bend and being in the lane for a little bit. All of a sudden I realized there's like 3 cars ahead of me, and that's it. Like, I'm not even in the car. Tires aren't done. Like, they make sure when you're there, get your stuff ready and go. So I don't think we're going to need to worry about curfew unless you need a curfew to go to bed so you're up the next day.
That's right. That's right. So it's good. Like we talked a little bit about earlier, huge events, in Canada right now. When we were talking about racing in the States, it's hard to go to the States because there's so much happening here. Obviously, like we just said, 660 this weekend. Naperville announced a $10,000 race to win race in 2 weeks.
That's the 6th to the 8th. That's the Fuel Tech Pro Mod Series.
Yeah.
Race
And
weekend
then,
as well as the bigger end, right?
So yes. And then what's after that?
Super Tour, Luskville on Labor Day.
27, 28. Yeah. And then Super Tour, the fall bracket. For that, a couple of 5s then. I'll be back in Luskville. And then there's kind of some areas to go race, I think.
Yep.
There's a couple of Naperville weekends in there, more pro mod stuff going on. And then we're into October. So we're starting to close some stuff up.
Pretty much every weekend in Ontario, like between Shannonville, St. Thomas, Cayuga, Grand Bend, you got an event like Labor Day. Grand Bend's a big event. You've got Shannonville, like they're a couple weeks now.
Which is going to be, that's next weekend. That is their no box high roller event.
Yep. That's right.
I think it's 1,200 to win the no box class, semi pro, whatever it is that you would like to, you would prefer to call it. So they have that coming up too. There's a lot of racing. There's a lot of great
Fall
racing
Fast
here.
Grand Bend.
Yep.
And like again, it's. I mean, even like the points racing runs. Like, we got the traditional Turkey Nationals at St. Thomas running on Thanksgiving weekend. There's points racing at Cayuga up till the 22nd of October.
Yeah.
I
did see that.
There's a backloaded. I know we're still waiting on a to be determined date for the Super Tour, which I am monitoring very closly.
Yeah, the first weekend of October is still on the calendar. Where we're not told, it hasn't been officially put out there, but so there's a lot going on.
Maybe Grand Bend, that would be something.
There you go. That'd be fun.
There you go. Yeah, where if the OGILVIE'S are listed and anyone else, let's just throw that one out there, maybe. But
that's right. Give the boys a call. So as we talked about also earlier about adding in an episode. Normally, as everybody knows, we go 2 weeks between shows. We're going to add one in next week, which is August 23rd. This will be a special one with special guest Peter Biondo coming on from the Spring Fling bracket races. He's going to talk about his great event coming to Columbus, Ohio, the
Summer Fling.
Is it the Summer Fling? Yeah.
So. Fall Fling is Bristol.
You're right. So the Summer Fling.
Right.
So we're talking with Peter about that, talking about everything that he has to offer. I have never personally been to one of the Fling events. A lot of guys from around here and racers from around here have gone. They went for years when it was the May long weekend in Bristol.
Yep.
Wish I could have went to that. I was, I want to say I was like 17 or 18 the last time they did it on the long weekend.
Yep.
So, we weren't as prepared to go as what I would be now, but it's going to be awesome. For one, it's just going to be really cool for you and I to sit here and talk to Peter for an hour.
Oh, absolutely. Right. Like, I've watched a lot of interviews with Peter through different, channels and whatnot. And I can sit here and listen to him talk about stories and everything else for hours on end. It's going to be a lot of fun. I'm really looking forward to it. right? I'm looking forward to him talking about the events too. Like they do great events. Like they've built such an amazing brand with their bracket races. There isn't a soul I've heard or talked to that has gone to them that hasn't come back just enthralled with their experience. And so it's going to be neat to hear them talk about it. And like the Columbus race, like we've been to Columbus years ago when it was running an NHRA points race. I mean, it's a revamped facility. They've got new ownership. The NHRA sold it, so they've got private ownership. They spent a ton of money on that facility to get it back up to modern day par type of thing. So I'm excited to hear him talk about that. The fall fling as well. So this should be great. I'm not sure if we've lost Brandon. And he might have frozen. So the difficult part with that is I'm not sure how to close the show off on my end if I've lost Brando. So I am by myself. Okay, so I'm back. There he is.
Yes, sorry. I had the internet hooked up on my phone.
Yep.
And my phone just died.
Oh, that's perfect.
Yeah, so it's excellent. So,
well, yeah. I was just about to read off the Midday Squares ad that was coming up because I thought that, well, you know what? I'll leave that up to you because I feel like you may have a better handle on that.
I think, well, because it reset, I think you have to read it because I no longer have it in front of me.
Gotcha. So, looking for some help to get you through the... Oh, you've got one. There you go. What better endorsement do we have for Midday Squares? So producer Rachel sent this to me. So looking for some help to get through your race day? It's time for a Midday Square. It's a functional chocolate bar with 6 grams of protein per serving, made to kill hunger, boost your mood, provide brain fuel. Use code RachelB15 at checkout for 15% off your order. I've seen Rachel using these at the track. Use them as a great, like this is one of those nice little things to get you through the day. I can't stand eating big meals when I'm at the track.
I love to. If you saw my Facebook post where I posted asking about the canteen food, I was trying to figure out wherever has the best food to ever eat at a racetrack. But I once I eat something heavy, then it's over. So I try and avoid it through the day. These units, Rachel got me onto these Canadian made company Midday Squares. These are my favorite ones. Almond Crunch, this one right there.
Okay.
Delicious. If you've ever had a crunch bar,
yep.
Very similar tasting, I guess, to that, but better for you, not just chocolate and sugar. So
the sugar crash doesn't happen an hour later type of thing.
Right. So I'll have these through the day. And so with Rachel, this one's fudge. Yeah. There is a peanut butter one as well. That one I think we're actually out of it because I'm pretty sure Rachel eats all those first.
Sampling. She's making sure that everything coming through product quality is at the top most of the list, right?
Absolutely. So check that out. If you want to come, see them, learn more about it, we'll be at Grand Bend. Shoot us a message. Check them out online. We will. The discount code will be shared in the show notes. So check that all out if you're interested in it. And I advise you, if you have Instagram, I'm not sure if it's on Facebook, but Instagram, they have in their stories kind of the whole inception of the business. So it's a husband and wife and then one of their younger siblings. Really cool deal how they went through and all the kind of trials and tribulations of having a business. It's very relatable to bracket life for the fights and struggles that we have. So good for them, and check that out. But that's excellent. Great show, Andrew. I feel good about it.
Absolutely.
It'll be really cool. Next week, we'll be able to talk about our week at Grand Bend. Yep. I'd imagine we'll be, like zombies here when we do the conversation.
I'm a touch worried. I'm just going to sit here and stare and listen to Peter talk because, again, I'm enthralled what he says. But I'm really looking forward to it. It's going to be a lot of fun to chat with the man himself. So
yes, sir. So the Terminator will be on next week, same time, same place. Check it out, and then back to regular our scheduled broadcasting the week after.
That'd be 3 weeks in a row then?
That will be.
Oh, man. We're going to have a busy schedule here.
That's right. But it's been fun. So thank you guys for staying with us the whole way through. Big episode. I feel like it was really information-packed, a lot of racing, a lot of updates about the events. So it's cool. I love it. This is a great time. racing right in the middle of August, right in the heat of it. So
Yeah.
thank you guys, everybody who we're going to see on the weekend at Grand Bend. Make sure to stop by, say hi. Andrew and I are going to be, I believe, parked really close together.
Yep.
So let us know that you watch it. Check it all out. We're going to have pretty much all of our Bracket Life stuff there. I believe everything's loaded up in the truck. Rachel was loading that up tonight. So once again, thank you guys. Make sure to check it out. Instagram, Facebook, follow us. Keep following the YouTube stuff. Subscribe to the channel. Get all the notifications when we go live. And we'll see you in a week if we don't see you before at Grand Bend.
Absolutely. See you
Have a
soon.
good one, bud. Charlotte says goodnight.
That's it.
That's right. Have a good one, guys.
We started the business over 35 years ago. A lot has changed over the years, but one thing still remains the same.
Our passion for fixing cars. With a team of over 12 men and women, they work day in and day out to provide us the best quality service possible.
From light and heavy duty vehicle repairs and maintenance work.
Diagnostics and racing transmissions.
Performance parts and Jeep upgrades.
Automotive detailing.
used car sales,
and towing through our sister company, AC Towing.
Our team has the knowledge and understanding to solve all your vehicle needs while putting your mind at ease.
Experience the Ogilvie difference.
It's worth the drive.